Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I am working in my super chunky art journal. So if you want to come along and see the process, stay tuned. All right, y'all, we are in this humongous Dilutions? Dina Wakley? One of those art journal. I'll link it below. It's getting pretty full, but today we're going to work. Let's see if we can find a good kind of blank page. This one has gone through a lot. Let's work maybe here today. I want to do a little bit of collage, a little bit of, I think, probably acrylic paint, maybe some gloss sprays. I'll end up linking everything that I use down below, but I kind of keep this set of pieces that I cut out of magazine that I can pull out and use at any point. And there are some fun kind of cool ones. Whoa, they're going everywhere now. That I can pull and just use as a jumping off point for different art journaling things, different pieces I love. So that's what I'm going to do today. I will put you guys on fast forward. I will link the things that I end up using down below. Otherwise, let's go. My absolute favorite magazine to get collage pieces or collage pictures out of is the Real Simple magazine. I think they have a fun mixture of illustrated pieces like that one and some really beautiful photographs. So I love getting that magazine and cutting it up and using all the pictures. This is actually tissue paper from a former Happy Planner Be Happy box. So I think this was part of the Lilo and Stitch box. And so I'm going to cut it apart. I always save any fun tissue paper that I get, I save for collage purposes. Collage is just one of those things, you guys, that is a really easy way to start off an art journaling page. I know that sometimes it can be really intimidating to have a big blank page and you see gorgeous art journal entries on Pinterest and on Instagram, and it seems like, how could I ever do that? Well, starting with collage down on your paper makes it so easy. Now you can use collage medium. In this case, I'm actually using some Mod Podge. I was very specific to make sure I used Mod Podge that was matte and not the regular shiny stuff, because the shiny stuff will end up sticking together in your art journal and then the pages will stick together and then it will rip and you will be sad. So don't use regular shiny Mod Podge. And then the other thing that I do is I let my art journal sit out and dry for over 24 hours. And then there's also times that I add just a tiny bit of baby powder, a little dusting to make sure that things don't stick, because sticking pages is really frustrating, and it can kind of mess up your pages. It happens, and if it does happen to you, don't fret. It's okay. The joy of the art journaling is in the process. I do like seeing the finished product, but really the joy is putting it together. I mean, how fun is this? I'm just playing with tissue paper. These are napkins from Jane Davenport. I'm not sure that they actually make these anymore. If they do, I will definitely link them below. You can use any napkin for collage though. What you're going to want to do is take off any extra plies or extra layers to that napkin. Most napkins have at least 2 layers on them. The real fancy thick napkins that you save for, you know, the good company when they come, those are even thicker. So you just want to make sure that you're only working with the very thinnest layer. And napkins are really fun things to kind of collect. I always keep my eyes out in the store. And then they're a fun thing to share. So if you pick up a set of napkins, you know, keep a couple for yourself and then pass them on to your friends, because who needs, you know, 47 pumpkin napkins to craft with? But you know, you can pass it along. So I'm just using Mod Podge here to get everything down. I'm going for what I feel is going to be kind of like a sunburst theme. I know that I'm going to want the girl that I cut out, I want her to be at the bottom left, and all of this gorgeousness is coming from her because she just looked like she was lit up inside. And I love that idea. I love the concept that we just radiate what's inside of us. And so it's kind of up to us what is in there. So what are we feeding ourselves with? It's not as far as nutrition wise, but you know, what are we feeding our soul with? And how is that shining out into the world? And I thought this girl is definitely on the right track. So I'm going to fill in all of the white spaces on my page here. I have this is two different napkins from Jane Davenport. I did just order, it hasn't come in yet, and actually by the time you see this video, I think you'll probably have seen an unboxing. I have a new order from scrapbook.com, and Jane Davenport has some new collage papers that I'm so excited to try. Her vibe is totally me. It's colorful, it's fun, it's vibrant, and so I'm all about it. All right, I'm just layering and layering and layering. I think the best art journal entries have all the layers. This is some old tissue paper. I feel like it came as part of a kit from By the Well for God when I used to get their Bible journaling kits, because they often had black and white paper. So I'm just cutting some strips of this. I'm going to put that down on my page as well. So now I have all of these like bursts. I love that the black and white is going to be a little bit translucent, in that you'll start to see some of the color come through. I'm being pretty thorough, making sure all the edges are covered up really well, because I want it to melt into the paper and I want it to be really secure once you're flipping through my art journal. So yeah, we're gonna get all of this down, and then I will take the whole thing and dry it really well with my heat tool. I even walk away, let it dry really well. I know I want to add over the top of this, and so it has to be really, really dry, especially with Mod Podge, especially with any kind of collage paste, anything like that. Now that it is dry, I am very carefully kind of trimming off all of the extra pieces that hung over the edge. When you're collaging, don't be afraid to hang things off of the edge of your paper. I think far too often we think, well, the paper is my boundary, and you want to break that boundary in your art journal. You want things to go off of the paper. Then when you trim it off, it tricks your eye into the concept of it's going to keep going. And I just love that. I do that with stickers in my planner. I do it with journaling, and I do it with my art journal as well. So now it's all trimmed off. Everything was kind of hung off the paper, and it's a lot of color. It is. It's a ton of color. I'm not going to shy away from it though. Color is what I was feeling. I'm feeling the vibrancy of 2023. I'm feeling so excited about 2023 and all the possibilities, and I'm feeling great about getting back into my art journal. So we are going to knock the color back ever so slightly with some white acrylic paint. This is the Liquitex white acrylic paint. I actually reviewed this paint on my channel, I believe last week. And I have a new series on my channel. It's called What's New Wednesdays. And in What's New Wednesdays, I'm going to be sharing new things that are in my craft room, reviewing new products, trying some new things. And so that's definitely a series you're going to want to catch, because it's always nice to see someone else try something or try a new product before you invest in it. That's how I have always, or that's something that I look for on YouTube. And I thought, well, you know what? I can do that too. I can experiment. I can try new tools and new supplies that you guys are interested in. And that way, you know, if it's something that will work for you. But this is the Liquitex Basics acrylic. I got in a pretty big set from Michael's. I can already tell I like it. It is really good acrylic paint for what I use it for. I'm going to have to buy a bigger bottle of the white though. So the white I'm going through because I use a ton of white acrylic paint. So I'm definitely going to have to invest in that and possibly the black. But the cool thing about the sampler pack was that I could see which ones I liked, and then I can invest in the bigger bottles from there. So I'm not being too finicky about the clarity or the crispness of the different lines, but I am going to go over the white just again. Some parts of it were a little bit too translucent for me, and I wanted it to be more opaque, so I can just add another layer of the white on there. And again, I'm wanting it to look like sunbeams. All of this is radiating from this amazing girl on the page. So the white helps to break up the color a little bit. It also really helps to define the sunbeam look that I wanted to go with. So I could have used white gesso for this. I could have used a paint pen for this. I thought the white acrylic paint would have the best possible coverage though. Once I get all of those finished, I will take my last collage piece, which is that gorgeous girl, and I'm going to add a little bit of Mod Podge on the back of her and then put it on the paper, and then again, take the whole book over to my air dryer, my heat tool that I use, and then make sure this is all super dry, because I want to add a title with this, and I want to use black, and so I know I need it to all be dry. So taking that, now it's dry, the magic of YouTube. And I'm gonna grab these stencils. These are actually from Illustrated Faith, and they kind of look like marquee stencils. I like the letters, and I'm gonna spell out the word shine. I love this word. One of my patrons, actually, this is her word of the year, and I thought it was such a great word. I'm slightly jealous that I did not think of that word for my word of the year. I like my word of the year. It's perfect for me, but shine is definitely going to be on my list for the future. I love it. And so that word, since she shared that it was her word, shout out to Anastasia for having an awesome word. It's been sticking in my head, so I knew I wanted it to be the title of this piece. I'm just tracing in these stencils. I'm using a black Sharpie. I come back and I try to fill this in with an acrylograph pen, like black paint pen. It works okay. It's just a really fine tip pen. It was going to take forever. Eventually, I give that up and I come back with some black acrylic paint to fill this in, and I do a couple layers of that so it's nice and bold. I'm actually going to speed this up a whole lot because I'm just filling it in. You guys know how to fill in lines. So that's pretty easy. The acrylograph would have worked. I was just getting impatient. So I grabbed the acrylic paint instead, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it and do a couple of layers there. And I just want to say, see how easy it is to create an art journal page with collage. You just pick things that you love, that inspire you, and you put them on the page. And the more you play with it, the more you'll get used to how you like things arranged, what kind of mediums you like to use as far as Mod Podge or collage paste or collage medium, any of that stuff. Just play with it. That's always what I tell people with art journaling. People that are nervous to start, people that aren't sure where to start, just start picking things and playing with them. And I think collage is a really easy entry into art journaling because you don't have to draw these things yourself. You're just finding images that you love and putting them onto paper. All right, I feel like it probably wouldn't be an art journal page of mine if there weren't splatters. I just wanted a few splatters around the page. We're going with black splatters. All you have to do for that is mix a little bit of water into your acrylic paint and then splatter it around the page. Just put it on the paintbrush and kind of tap that paintbrush around. I wanted to add one more word. You shine. So cute. And then, you know what? This girl does more than shine. She sparkles, and I just happened to spot some sequins in the corner of my eye that were beautiful sequin stars. So I'm going to glue them on this page. I'm using Fabri-Tac glue because it's a little bit flexible, which I think works really well. Sequins pop off super easy. So if you use a slightly flexible glue, then they're more likely to hold in place. So I'm going to take a little time to put some stars around the page. I'll just use some tweezers to get them down. And I'm just kind of radiating those stars from the title, You Shine. And this girl is shiny and beautiful and amazing. And I hope that that's how we all feel going into 2023. And that's going to be it for this art journal process. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. Let me know down below as I try to determine what content I'm going to bring you in 2023 over here on YouTube. Let me know below if art journaling is something that you like to see, what types of art journaling. I would love to hear from you. As always, I will link everything down in the description box. A lot of those are affiliate links. It does really help me out when you are able to shop those. So be sure to check those out for the materials. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support. We're having a fabulous time, and there's a ton of bonus content over on Patreon. So check out that link in the description box as well. All right. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.